I realized my parents resent me for starting my own family.
You can only have one.
I posted this in another sub and someone recommended I post it here. I hope that's okay. You know what? It absolutely is. I had somewhat of a revelation this weekend. I'm still processing how I feel about it and considering if I should confront my parents. Anyway, here it is. I believe my parents resent me for starting my own family. By the way, this comes from Latown. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK storytime subreddit. So, I, 40 male, come from a big family. I'm the second oldest of 9 kids. Wow, big family. My older sister, Jane, is just a year older than me. There is a 6-year gap between me and the next sibling. Then my mom had a kid every 2 to 3 years. Since Jade and I were the oldest, we always helped with the little kids and the chores around the house. In fact, it was common for my parents and other adults to refer to us as Jade and OP and the kids. Dang, that kind of sucks. It's like Jade and I were not considered children. It's more like we were 2 other adults living in the house. We were homeschooled, so we were home all the time. Part of my job is that I would wake up, make breakfast for the kids, then get them started with their school or activities before I started my own schoolwork. Jane would sleep in because she was more of a night owl, and it was her job to help at night with the baby, because there was always a baby. Jane and I did most of the chores around the house. We took turns either cleaning the kitchen or doing the laundry, of which there was a lot. I did all the guy stuff, like mowing the yard and taking out the trash.
Yeah, and replacing the engine in the car. Yeah. And putting new shingles on the roof. Yeah.
As I got older, I would delegate some of these chores to my younger brothers, but it was still my responsibility to make sure it got done. Once I was old enough to drive, I would run errands and take the kids everywhere. I can't tell you how many times I would take the kids to things like play dates or doctor's appointments. I would often tuck the kids in bed and tell them stories. To me, these things were all just normal. But looking back on it, I was more like a second dad to the kids than a brother. Jane and I did have a lot of freedom as teenagers to go out with our friends if chores were done. We didn't have cell phones back then. If we wanted to go out, we would just tell our parents we were going, and they didn't care as long as we were back by the next morning. I moved out when I was 20, but I still spent a lot of time at my parents', and one of my younger siblings was always at my house. One brother, JJ, pretty much lived with me since he was 14 because he and our mom didn't get along. When JJ was 17, he got in a wreck and he called me instead of calling dad because I was just the one who handled those kinds of things. During all of this time, my parents always talked about how important it was for Jane and I to help with the kids because they were so busy with their ministry. I can't count how many times I had to drop what I was doing to take care of something because mom or dad were counseling someone. Sorry, I feel like I'm rambling. I hope I have painted an accurate picture of my childhood. Let's move on. So, I had not really dated much, but when I was 25, I met and started dating Anne. We fell in love fast and got married less than a year later. Wow. My younger siblings love Anne. She is a great cook and hostess. Our house became the hangout spot. My younger siblings started calling her Mama Ann, something they still do to this day. Oh, wow. That's weird.
I mean, if you've been parentified to the point where your younger siblings consider you more like a dad,
yeah,
I guess it does make sense to some level.
It makes sense. But when you really think about it, it's like, it should not be how it is.
It is a unique tree, certainly.
Yeah, definitely. We have now been married 15 years and have 2 kids of our own. My mom and Jane did not like Anne. Jane and Anne get along okay now, but Anne and my mom do not have a good relationship. I never understood why, but I think I have finally figured out that it's because they see it as Anne having taken me away. As Anne and I focused on our relationship and started a family, I spent less and less time doing things for my parents. My dad liked Anne at first, but over the past few years, their relationship has soured. Throughout the years, my dad has made comments to me about keeping up my responsibilities. One time he called me about one of the younger kids who had gotten in a fight with my mom and said, "You better get your brother and change his attitude. It's not okay how he treated your mom, and you are going to make him apologize."
So you can't outsource parenting to your children.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Like, can't you do something about that? You're literally his dad.
It's crazy.
Come on, man. A few years ago, Anne and I set some boundaries with my parents, telling them that we were not going to raise or discipline their kids. Our home is always open to my siblings, but we no longer let my parents try and use us to straighten them up. My parents have not taken this well. About a year ago, Anne injured her foot and couldn't walk for a while. Just as she was getting better, I was diagnosed with kidney disease, which then turned into kidney failure. Oh no. I've had several surgeries, with another one coming in a few weeks. It has been a rough year. During this time, my parents have not only refused to help, they have actively made things harder for us. Things like promising to help with our kids, but then canceling at the last minute, usually because something ministry related came up. Recently, my sister-in-law, who lives in another state, had a baby, and my mom has been staying with her and helping for the past 6 weeks. My sister-in-law has said that mom is a godsend and is so wonderful. My dad has gone to help every weekend. This hurts me because my mom wouldn't give us a single night to help with our youngest when he was born. Anyway, I'm sorry this post has turned out longer than I thought it would. I needed to get some things off my chest. This weekend, I was talking to another sister and telling her how I don't understand why mom and dad don't treat me like they do the rest of the kids, even Jane. It's like I'm not one of their children. And it just kind of hit me that they resent me for getting married and starting my own family and leaving them to raise their own kids.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even know if the first part is applicable. Like, I don't know if they're even mad that you have your own family. I think they're just mad that you're not available to do things for them.
Yeah, it's like they are treating you like hired, like a nanny that they are paying for you to be there, yet they're not.
They just got used to you jumping when they say jump, and now you're like, I won't do that anymore. And they're mad. You could have a family, you could not. The moment that you were like, hey, I'm living my own life now, you're going to have to raise your own children, they were always going to get iffy on you, I think.
Yeah, and it sucks that it's just you. I think maybe you were just really good at what you were doing, and they just got like really reliant on that help with the family.
What is that, the paradox where it's like you do such a good job at work that you get punished for it instead of like help, because now they just expect you to do all this stuff. They're not paying you extra for it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's going on here. Exactly.
Yes.
They're not expecting this of Jane. Maybe she was just not as good as a fake parent.
I don't know. The disparity between the siblings is strange to me too.
It is very interesting. Part of me is relieved to finally realize why they treat me like they do, and part of me is sad. I'm kind of scared about this upcoming surgery, and I really wish I had a parent I could talk to about it. But I don't feel like I have parents, just some people that I co-parented my siblings with. And there are some comments. Man, that's hard. Commenter number 1 says, your parents used religion as an excuse not to parent. Extremely bad parenting, and it was wrong expecting you to do the job that they should have been doing. Your parents need a wake-up call about their selfishness. I'd hit them hard with what they have done wrong, then go no contact, as you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. Commenter number 2 says, your parents seem so absent from your life. I'm so sorry that this has happened to you. Take this time to focus on your real family, your wife, and kids. That should be your priority now that your folks have revealed themselves for who they really are. Parentification is a type of neglect, and you've certainly suffered from it. OP responds, absent from my life is a very good way to put it. Even though I see them frequently, they have no idea what is actually going on with me. When I had my first surgery last year, my mom told people, OP is having a surgery and has to do treatments for a few weeks, then he will be better. I had to call her and say, Mom, stop telling people that. The surgery is to have a port installed in my body so I can have treatments, which I have to do for the rest of my life. I will not be all better in a few weeks. Wow, so she really has no idea what's going on.
Just like a weird delusional thing to say.
Yeah.
Or if you like just actually don't care enough to really know what's going on. Either one of those is bad.
All of the above could be happening right now. Even with that, she is completely checked out. But at least she gets to be the grandmother of the year for my brother and sister-in-law. Someone responds, it is possible that your mom is a self-absorbed person and actually resents the attention you would have being sick. Or maybe she's just an idiot. Those seem like the two only options to me. I am so sorry that you're dealing with this. Hopefully some of your younger siblings can help you in the future. OP responds, yes, she is a self-absorbed person. I think she is purposefully in denial about my illness because then she would have to admit that she is not helping her sick child. The younger siblings who live close have helped a lot, and the ones that don't live close have still helped with moral support. And guess what, Dakota?
What?
We've got an update.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, but where is your head at? before we go into this update?
I do. I think it's just time. You got to focus on the family you're building.
I feel like, obviously a talk couldn't hurt, You could always try to talk to your mom about this, try to tell her how it's feeling, how it's coming across. But at the end of the day, like, you can't really control how she is acting with all this stuff. So you really can only focus on yourself and your family. But that still just sucks, though. That's what you have to do.
It does. It's not good, but it feels like trying to undo how she is just unrealistic,
Exactly. But we do have an update. So thanks to everyone who engaged with my last post. It has been therapeutic. This post is a brief update, and then I will answer some questions. So update, I spoke with my wife, Anne, about it last night. I said something along the lines of, I've realized that my parents resent me for starting my own family and not helping them as much, and that is why they treat me so differently. And I think that you've been trying to gently tell me this for years, but I was too dense to get it. We were sitting in the bed at the time, and she leaned over and patted me on the head and said, "You are so pretty." I laughed for like 10 minutes.
Little pretty guy doesn't have any brain.
It was a great emotional release. A lot of you said that she sounds wonderful, and she really is. I just can't express how much I love her. About Jane, my older sister. Jane did get married and start a family about 2 years after I did. Jane and I had a falling out and didn't speak for several years, but we are okay now, just not very close. Our falling out was more about religion than anything. She is very religious like my parents, while I am not. I am religious and we attend church, but it's not our whole life like it is for my parents and Jane. For our younger siblings, the youngest is 22, so they are all adults now. The second to youngest has passed away several years ago, so there are 8 of us now. Oh my gosh. I am very close with all of my younger siblings. They still come hang out at my house all the time, and they are all great aunts and uncles to my kids. All of them, including Jane, are upset with how my parents treated me this past year. Oh, well, that's good. At least they've got the other siblings on his side.
Well, yeah, you mean like the siblings who are basically your children.
Yeah, literally. So for help with my kids, while I'm disappointed in my parents for not helping, I do not need their help. Anne and I have close friends, plus we both have siblings that help. Anne's parents live far away, but they help when they can. We really are okay and feel very blessed and loved with all the help that we have received. For therapy, part of my kidney treatment plan includes access to a therapist, and I love her. She has been great in helping me learn to live with an illness. I'm not sure if she is the right person to speak with about my parents, but I will ask her and see if she can refer someone if not. I will wait until after my surgery to bring this up, as I need to just focus on that right now. Setting boundaries. When I say my parents won't help, it's not that they say that they won't help. It's that they offer to help and then either bail at the last minute or change plans so much that it causes Anne and I a lot of stress. A few months ago, Anne was sick, and my mother offered to pick our kids up from school. It's a long story, but she kept changing things and making it very complicated, and my youngest ended up being left alone for a little, and he got scared. After that, I had a harsh talk with my parents and told them how disappointed I was in them and how I needed to focus on my health and that they were making things worse. I told them that they are not allowed to take my kids anywhere. They are not allowed to just drop by at my house. And in fact, they were not even allowed to offer help because my mom doesn't take no for an answer and will nag until she wears me down. My parents were bad about this, but all 7 of my siblings took my side and rallied about me, and so my parents have respected that so far. As for going no contact, a lot of people recommended going no contact. I don't want that. I still love my parents, even though they have not been great parents. My kids love them too, and I don't want to take that away. They are good grandparents when they show up. I don't think my parents are awful people. I think that they just had this vision of how they wanted to have this big family and this big ministry, and I think they just didn't realize the responsibilities they put on Jane and I. I've spoken to them in the past and expressed how it was messed up that they put so much on us as kids, and they have apologized. Well, that's good, at least.
Yeah.
They've kind of realized.
That's one of the great things about talking it out with people.
Communication, people.
I don't know if exactly how I said it earlier, but yeah, you just got to talk to your parents, be like, here's how I'm feeling, here's what I'm gonna do, and then just live your life by that.
Exactly.
You don't have to cut them off forever. Just don't let them decide how you do things.
I think going no contact is definitely a big jump for these people to suggest, especially without like a conversation first, at least.
Yeah.
Putting my parents on blast at their church. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh.
So I guess there's more than a conversation going on. Several people recommended going to their church and telling people how they have treated me. You don't understand this church. They would praise my parents for putting God and the ministry above anything else. These super religious people are crazy. So I guess OP didn't put them on blast at the church. That's just what people were suggesting.
Do we not even remember the story of Cain and Abel? Like,
I don't.
It's literally the whole story of that is God being like, hey, do this crazy, ridiculous thing I'd never ask you to do.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, I guess I will. And God's like, hey, what are you doing? You're supposed to say no. And it was like sacrificing his like firstborn child or whatever.
Whoa.
And it's like, God's like, hey, dummy, well, I'm not gonna, no, don't do that.
It's like, bro, I was just joking. What are you talking about?
And it sounds like this ministry would be like, get rid of the child.
Yeah.
Get rid of the child.
Interesting. I didn't know about that.
I hope I didn't mess that up.
Well, we'll research it later. I guess that's it for now. My surgery is in less than 2 weeks, so I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to put this thing with my parents on the back burner, and later I will decide what, if anything, I'm going to do. Thanks again to everyone for your comments. It has really helped me work through some feelings. But we have a second update. Oh, I'm just going to jump right into it.
Let's go.
Thanks to everyone who has reached out and wished me a speedy recovery. My surgery was last week and it is going better than expected. Okay, yay. All the surgeries and treatments in the past year felt like it was just keeping me alive. But with this surgery, a kidney transplant, I feel like I'm working towards getting my normal life back. Oh, good. It's been hard and painful, but I was expecting it to be worse, so I can't complain at all. Anne is always telling me that she doesn't get enough credit for being funny, so the fact that so many of you laughed when she told me that I was pretty has made her happy. She said, I like these Reddit people. That's so cute. This whole post started because I was having a conversation with one of my sisters. I'll call her 6 since I can't keep making up names. Plus, she is following this thread and will hate that I'm actually calling her that. 6 had a fight with our parents, and I was sharing with her that Anne and I had recently set strong boundaries with them and encouraged her to do the same. So she did, and they did not take it well. Ooh, are we surprised?
Ooh, 0% surprise.
This led to several conversations with different siblings, and both 5 and 9 also decided to set some boundaries. This has also led to other siblings deciding to confront our parents about how they have treated me in this past year while I have been sick. Oh my gosh.
I'm just imagining them writing a sermon about this, being like, when one snake poisons the congregation, it will spread like a toxin through the veins of our community.
It's literally what's happening. They're just like, everyone is like, oh, you know what? Yeah, let's all just band together and fight our parents.
We're all gonna have boundaries. Yeah.
Jane, the oldest, called me the day before my surgery to check on me, and we ended up talking about our childhood. We have not been close for a number of years. However, I feel like we bonded on this call. It was interesting talking to her as an adult and reliving some things. She has been in therapy for a few years, and she said sometimes she will be talking and her therapist will stop her and say, Jane, you just casually rolled through some messed up stuff. We need to stop and unpack this. That's like the best time in therapy, though, where the therapist is like, whoa, what?
Dude, I had to do that to my friend the other day.
Yeah?
My friend, which I will not share what it was.
Sure.
My friend told me some stuff and then just like casually moved on. And I'm like, whoa.
Like, hang on.
We're addressing that one real quick.
Yeah, we will be chalant about this.
Yes.
For a long time, I have blamed her for the way that she treated me when we were younger, but now I am beginning to understand that she was also just a kid trying to cope. I have a lot more grace for her now. We have been texting a lot in the past few weeks. My parents did come visit after the surgery, but we didn't talk about any family drama. My siblings have said that they are not taking these new boundaries well at all. Oh no. I hope that one day they wake up and realize that all 8 of their children are disappointed in them and they work to be better people, but I am not holding my breath. It seems that they are placing all the blame like they normally do, This is just an attack by the devil. Oh no.
If only it were that simple, folks.
Anne and I decided that moving forward, we are going to continue low contact with strong boundaries. With such a large family going no contact, it would be hard and create a lot of awkward situations where we would still have to see them. By the way, it will never be awkward when you see us or listen to us on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. You're going to find full episodes with more stories just like this one.
Yeah, over 2,000 of them. What are you doing?
Never going to be awkward. Come on. But there is a little bit more to the story. Do you have any final thoughts before we move on?
Boundaries good.
Yeah, that's right.
Boundaries good. They can be hard to set, but set them and stick with them.
Yeah, and it'll probably take some time. I mean, if OP is 40 now, and this is like just now when all of the like siblings are setting boundaries and stuff, like it's gonna take some time for them to adjust.
Yes.
At least you're trying. But there is a little bit more to this story. We have also talked to our kids, and they have both expressed that they want to have a relationship with their grandparents. While I do not expect my parents to change, I do believe that they will respect our boundaries. My attitude towards them has also changed. I no longer feel like I owe them anything. We will continue a relationship with them because it is what's best for my family, not because they deserve it. Lastly, I received a recommendation for a family therapist, and I have an appointment scheduled for next month. All right. That's the end of that story.
Yes.
We love to see it. We got communication, we got boundaries, we got therapy, and we got family therapy.
I love when a story ends with therapy.
It's the only way it should end.
The best ending.
The best ending.
My wife gained a lot of weight. It's ruining our marriage.
Ooh, I don't like where this is going.
And by the way, I'm going to put a trigger warning here for a little fat phobia, as this story obviously centers around weight. So if you don't want to hear anyone's opinions on that, woo, next story, please. Our situation is a little different than most others. My wife and I are both second-generation Indian Americans. Our parents moved here, but we were born and raised here. And we actually met through a somewhat arranged dating thing. By the way, this comes from user Help Wait. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, we talked for a month and a half, and then we got engaged and married 2 months later. Okay, so 3.5 months into knowing someone, married.
Boom. Got it.
I know this is odd, but in a lot of arranged marriages, people move a lot faster. Also, our age played a big part since we are on the older side. We talked and discussed a lot of things, and everything was laid out on the table. We got married January 3rd in India, where we recently had our 1-year anniversary. The reason why I'm posting on this forum is that I'm really worried about my wife's weight. When we got married, she was petite and looked absolutely beautiful. However, now she has put on a significant amount of weight. She says that since she's married now, she can finally be free, but it really is hurting my attraction towards her.
Uh-oh.
She has always been on the slimmer side, and all of her pictures in college showed me she was even slimmer. I go to the gym regularly, and my wife told me she did too. However, nowadays she rarely goes. She'll make some excuse that she's tired, something happened, and she won't go, and most of the time I end up going alone. She'll probably go to the gym once a week, if that, but usually ends up eating more that day, so it doesn't even have a positive effect. All of her weight gain has really caused me to lose a lot of attraction towards her. When I tried to talk to her about this, she tells me I'm her husband and I need to love her despite her weight. She points out that my mom is fat and my dad still loves her. I've tried to get her to do some home workouts with me, but she turns me down. I even tried making healthy meals for us, which she will eat, but then ends up snacking away. What really is frustrating about all of this is that she was petite for most of her life. It's not as if she can't lose weight or doesn't know how. That's why I'm posting on here, not a sports or fitness related forum. Do you guys have any ideas on what I can do? And there are some comments. Yeah, we're just going to get into these comments, see what the comments have to say about this gentleman's perspective.
Let's do it.
She's made it clear that this is the new status quo. If she doesn't come around, what's your end game? OP says she's been talking about trying for a baby. Right now, I told her that life is on pause until then. She isn't happy about it, saying that the older she gets, the more likely birth defects or complications, etc. But if she gains this much weight without any kids, with kids, she might be 200 in no time. I will ask my question again, says a commenter. If she does not change, what is your end game? OP says, I would have to talk to my family about this. I don't want to say anything bad to them about her yet. Okay, then right now she has no motivation to change. If she got more overweight, would you divorce her? OP said, divorce is permanent, so I can't say for sure, but I would definitely lean towards that, yes.
Oof.
Comment 2 says, if she's never been fat before and spent 25 years being pressured by strict Indian parents to stay skinny in order to attract a better husband, she doesn't even get to choose, I can totally see why she's doing this. She's probably always been under their thumbs, and she's got a taste of freedom. It's really not so different from how anorexics restrict as an expression of control. She's likely not had much control in her life, and she's asserting her autonomy by allowing herself to eat what she wants. She doesn't know what it's like yet to not be able to see your own junk or to get winded just from walking or for her knees to crinkle like a crisp packet.
This is a crazy comment.
She may see reason once she's had a bad checkup or realize how ugly plus-sized clothes are, or after she's had a few run-ins with good old public fat shaming.
What? So this commenter is saying, like, just wait, like, she might get bullied out of it. People might fat shame her in public, and then she'll be fine. Is that what this commenter is saying?
Yes, which I disagree with.
This really is a crazy comment.
These comments are whack. Getting fat feels great, especially if you're eating your feelings. Being fat sucks, but unfortunately, a lot of people have to learn that the hard way. I'm sorry, I don't know how to help her, but I think you'll have better luck having a frank discussion from a place of love. Focus on the fact that you're worried for her rather than that you're disappointed in her. May be true, but I think counterproductive. Would she see a counselor with you? A neutral moderator for this discussion may be very helpful. If all that doesn't work, then you may have to let her know that it's a hard limit for you. You can't force her to change, but you can decide what you will or won't tolerate, and if necessary, remove yourself from the marriage. Source, former fatty. Why can't we just love ourselves at all times?
Is it so hard to ask?
Why do we got to put conditions on when we're allowed to love ourselves?
Come on, man.
Just because you're not doing everything right doesn't mean you can't move through change with grace and love in your heart for yourself.
Yeah.
You're just going to feel awful the whole time you do it
Exactly.
because you're ashamed.
Everything's just gonna be so much worse.
Yeah, we have an update here.
Okay. I'm scared to go into it.
This is what I'll say. You shouldn't be in this marriage, my guy.
Yeah, I feel the same.
I think she deserves a partner who can like look past just like her actual physical form.
Yeah.
Because it's like, sure, you're like, oh, I want you to be healthier and I want you to be, but you're really like, I don't want my wife to be ugly, which is like you are just not ready to marry this person and you never were.
Yeah. I agree. I think, like, yes, physicality is important when you're going into a relationship. Like, you want to be physically attracted to someone. But, like, when you're thinking about marrying someone, that's an important question to ask. Like, what's it going to be like when you gain weight? Because it's not even like an if thing. It's like literally, like, most people gain weight just in their lives, just in general. Like, I'm saying most because I'm sure there's some people that just don't. But it's very, very common for you to just get older and gain weight. That's just a thing that happens and you got to deal with it. So, like, if you don't think that you can handle that from seeing your partner gain weight, then, like, that's a you problem. It's not something that they have to fix.
Indeed. So there are a couple misunderstandings I want to correct before I update y'all. It seems as if a lot of people wanted to peg me as some evil guy that is trying to make my wife anorexic. Trust me, that isn't the case. My wife was a healthy weight when we got married. She was on the slim side, but never sticks and bones. I've never seen her on the scale, but I know that weight-wise, prior to getting married, she was 120 on her license.
That's so itty bitty.
This guy's going to reveal like, oh yeah, my wife's 150. It's going to be like nothing. Like, my wife is a normal weight. Should I divorce her?
Right.
You're crazy, dude. The thing with the weight gain is that it isn't distributed very evenly. I know for a lot of women, when they gain weight, it goes to their thighs. And actually looks pretty good. However, for my wife, a lot of that fat has gone to her face and stomach. Her body looks like a sack of potatoes.
Oh my God.
Bro, I'm about to hit you with a sack of potatoes.
Dude, this is not cool.
I don't know what to tell this man. Get out of this marriage. You're not ready for marriage. You're not ready for long-term partnership.
Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Honestly, it's this is sickening.
Yeah.
While I can say that I love her on an emotional level, which I do think and care for her a lot, physically, it's just not there. So here is what happened since. I talked to my wife and I told her that I don't like where our relationship is going. I told her that I want her to get more fit and that while I love her, that I think that there is not a lot of lust. She told me that she's going to work on things at her own pace and that it's her body, not mine. Go, girl.
True.
Over the next couple of days, I didn't notice any changes. I made us some light pasta, tomato-based pasta with grilled chicken. And then I saw my wife basically pouring Parmesan cheese on it when she thought I wasn't looking.
Which sounds tasty and amazing. So I don't blame her.
My wife ate pasta. Should I divorce her?
Also, in the next few days, he was like, okay, great. So she told me that she's going to do it in her own time. It's been 2 days and I've seen no changes. God.
This guy's really infuriating. She ended up going to the gym, and when she came back, she went to a smoothie place nearby, and the smoothies are like 600 calories. And she probably was only at the gym for 30 minutes because she came back within an hour. By the way, buddy, if you have the nerve to be saying all this stuff, you better look like a triathlete.
Honestly.
You better have like a sculpted marble physique.
Yeah.
To feel like you have the right to say any of this stuff. How about we focus on improvements you could be making?
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy. I told her we need to have a talk. I told her that I can't find her attractive and that this whole behavior is just not me. I told her that I don't want in 10 years that she's going to be around on a mobility scooter at Walmart and that I have seriously considered divorce. She ended up crying and going to a friend's house. We had an actual talk later that night. She said that a lot of the reason she went and got an arranged marriage was because she thought brown guys didn't care much about weight, since most Indian couples she knows, both people are fat. I told her that I do care about weight and looks matter to me. Are both of these people just like simpletons? What are we doing? She's like, I didn't think you'd care because I've seen every Indian couples I've ever seen. They're both overweight.
Yeah.
What happened to talking to people that you're marrying about things? Maybe you should know these things before you're married to somebody.
It's a really good conversation to have before marriage. In any case.
I don't want to be like culturally insensitive or anything, but if you didn't get married to this woman and you're just dating, look, it's a non-issue. Because now she goes, wow, I don't want to be with someone with that perspective. Let's break up. But now you're married. It's complicated.
But if you can get married once, you can get married again.
Yes, that's right.
It can always happen.
That's right. I followed a lot of the advice people told me. Instead of saying that she looks gross to me now, I told her about how I'm more worried for the future. She tried to call me shallow, but I called her out because every guy she finds attractive on TV are all on the slim and muscular side. She's never said, look at that 400-pound guy, look how hot he is. She said that if she loved them, then she wouldn't care. I called BS on that, and we argued some more. This guy is like, well, I never see you saying 400-pound people are hot. And she's like, if I loved them, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
And then he just goes, no, you would. Yeah, no. And it's just like,
I just told you.
No, I refuse to validate your perspective.
What?
Yeah, no, that's just not true.
Yeah. It's giving me more reason I need to know now what this guy looks like. Because if he is like at the same weight as her or like, at the same, I don't know, fat percentage or something.
Only way he's getting away with this is if he looks like Brad Pitt, George Clooney, and Cristiano Ronaldo all mixed their genetics together.
Even then, if he gained weight, you would still love him. Because you love who he is.
She ended up leaving, go figure, and told me that I have been putting too much pressure on her and she's considering divorce over this, that I'm bound to leave her anyways when I get older. She then starts getting mad at me for my pornography preferences, that I just want a 10 out of 10 girl when I barely am a 5 and got a tiny wee-wee. My wee-wee is not tiny.
What is that?
Eyebrows raised at that. And you know what else isn't tiny?
What?
The archive of full episodes with stories just like this that you can listen to on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever. Just search OK Storytime.
Do it.
Do it. I dare you. Try to listen to them all. Pick your favorite. We have a little bit more story left here, but I've never wanted a divorce so bad.
Yeah, these are two people that are clearly not on the same page, not in the right marriage. So she was saying to him, like, you're wanting a 10, but you're barely a 5 or something like that?
Right, barely a 5.
With that teeny weeny.
I didn't escalate the fight anymore. I took my stuff and left for a hotel nearby. I called my close family members and told them what happened. My parents were surprisingly sympathetic. The next day, my wife contacted me, asking me if I cooled off. I told her I thought about it, and it's not going to work out. Wow. I told her that she changed when she got married, and that I am not okay with that. Hey, guess what, buddy? She was going to change again and again, and so will you, and so will everyone else you know.
That's what comes with being with someone forever.
What comes with being alive?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not okay that you changed. Dang, you're not really going to be okay with anything then. It's everybody's changing all the time.
Exactly.
I told her that there are plenty of guys that are into bigger women, and best of luck with that. She has now been trying to get me to resolve this and get back together. While I'm not one to hold a grudge, I don't see any value when I feel that she has a different expectation of marriage than I do. If she was to lose weight now, then what happens when we have kids? I don't know exactly what to do at this point. Is there any point in getting back together? And that's the end of that story. Not for you, buddy. I think you are looking for just like a digital wife that is ageless and timeless and programmable that you can just like make.
Yeah, I think so. Some sort of robot.
It's on the way. We're right there. We got AI.
Dude, just wait a few years. It'll figure itself out.
And you can have your AI girlfriend be whatever way you want her to be. And she'll feel real, but you'll be alone. Well, but that is the end of that story.